Hey guys, Zach here from Kubota Lynchburg. Today we're going to talk about the differences in the SCAG mowers, the Turf Tiger 2 and the Cheetah 2. Today I've got with me Jim. He is one of our SCAG reps. He just managed to stop on by and I roped him into doing this video with me. I know a lot about the SCAG equipment, but he knows a lot more than I do. So I'm going to talk about some of the basics, and he's going to go into some of the more details. And we might discuss today on why you might pick one versus the other, what the pros and cons are. They're both the highest end commercial grade gas mowers you can buy right now, some of the best quality, some of the best options and features on them. But why would you pick, the Cheetah versus the Turf Tiger? And that's what we're going to look at today. So I'm going to actually start with the Cheetah 2. This is kind of blowing up in the market these days. It's becoming a lot more popular. Really starting to sell more of these. Some of the main features you're going to see is this operator station, the way your transmission is, and the way your fuel tanks is. But the Cheetah is named very aptly the Cheetah because it's fast. You can go 16 miles per hour with this machine versus just 12 miles per hour with the Turf Tiger. Do you usually need all that speed? Probably not, but it is nice for traveling one versus the other. So, Jim, where do we get that speed from? What's the differences between these that is giving us that extra speed on it?
Yeah, so with the Cheetah model, we've got a 2-speed transaxle. It's a Hydrogear ZT5400 transmission, which does allow the transport mode of up to 16 miles per hour. Now, where landscapers and homeowners will mostly use that is from obviously traveling from point A to point B. Yes, you can mow in transport mode, but it'd probably beat you up pretty good.
Yeah.
So with that being said, we do have on the Cheetah model versus your Turf Tiger, we do have a suspension platform. So the platform itself actually suspends versus just the seat on the Turf Tiger. There is a quick, easy 5-point adjustment here, depending on rider weight. Okay, so that's a nice, convenient feature. As you can see, you do have dual fuel tanks versus a single fuel tank underneath the seat on the Turf Tiger.
I'll show you guys that one real quick because this fuel
fuel
tank is really nice where it's at. It's positioned directly underneath the seat. Here we go. So we've got the fuel tank right here, your fuel tank, low center of gravity. Directly underneath you, better center of gravity, really good stability on hills, where your side fuel tanks, as Jim was mentioning, it's higher up, it's a little easier access to it, but it keeps your weight up, so not quite as good of a center of gravity. This is probably is this a heavier machine?
Yeah, so this will be about 150 pounds heavier than your Cheetah model. Price-wise too, guys, you're talking about a $2,000 price difference. So when you look at the machines, Zach invited me on this video here to basically explain what
Told him he was coming on it.
What is the $2,000 price difference? I mean, you're still going to get the same cutter deck. You're going to have the same double tube steel frames. Same width, same length, but you're really going to gain, like Zach had pointed out, a lower center of gravity. You do have larger drive tires, okay, on the Turf Tiger. They're 26 inches tall versus 24 inches tall. So when you lower the tire pressure down, it'll allow for a nice, a smoother ride as well as a larger surface area for the tires to grab the hillside. We do have a drive shaft on the Turf Tiger model, which allows us to cut 6 inches high versus 5 inches high. So you do achieve a higher quality, a higher cut on the Turf Tiger, okay? And it does allow you, if you're cutting it, excessively low. We have golf courses using these. You can cut it 1.5 inches, and you're not going to have any belt alignment issues because you've got the drive shaft coming down from the rear of the motor.
Something I've noticed with the drive shafts, because the Kubota diesel models have that same drive shaft system to them, is when you are under heavy load. All right, you're cutting this property for the first time. It's tall grass, and correct me if you hear different, but this tall grass, with the drive shaft, you have a better transmission of power from the engine to the mower deck to the transmission, because it's straight metal to metal. There's no belt slippage, there's no loss of power there. So with a drive shaft machine, that overall power for those really thick or heavy or wet loads is very important. The belts are obviously cheaper. That's where part of that price point comes from. The belts are a cheaper design, more pain in the butt to replace and everything like that. But at the same time, it's a cheaper design and a lot more common on mowers these days to have that belt. but I like the drive shaft system. But if we come around to the back, you'll see part of where that system comes to. You look at the back of our Cheetah 2 over there, you have a simple, very back end of a mower. You know, you've got your engine, you've got your pretty design on the back, or on the Turf Tiger, you've got all your actual drive motor system and clutches and everything right there. I say everything because I don't know what else is back there. But a whole bunch of your stuff there to kind of maintain and upkeep. So I feel like the actual upkeep on a drive shaft mower, if you're good at maintenance, it's going to last longer, but you do have to make sure you maintain it. If you're one of those commercial guys who has a crew and you're going to let them run 1,000 hours on a machine without actually worrying about, you know, severe maintenance, you might be better replacing belts every once in a while than worrying about the expensive components on the back end. So
now, something I would like to point out. So if you look at the hydraulic pump belt, okay, so your hydraulic system, it is obviously powered by some pumps and wheel motors that are spun by a belt, okay. With that being said, if you do have a drive system belt failure, very accessible. You don't even need tools to remove your anti-rotation clutch bracket here. So you can replace your pump belt without having to climb underneath it like you would on your traditional lawnmowers. So that is a nice feature. That's why a lot of landscapers, municipalities choose this. You don't have to climb up underneath it to do all the maintenance and repairs if you do need to, whereas you're going to have to on a Cheetah. So our Turf Tiger is going to have, you know, with the drive systems, it's the only model we have that has an additional oil cooler for the hydraulics as well. So it does have cooling fans for the pumps, and it also has an additional oil cooler. So it's the only model we have that offers that.
Good under those heavy loads again. It
Absolutely.
keeps it cooler and everything. So, I mean, that's going to be the majority of differences between them. You're really looking, I mean, for the basics that I talk to people, obviously there was more details. A little bit heavier duty, but more expensive, shaft-driven, really good center of gravity mowing machine. And I kind of call it the tank. It's the Turf Tiger tank. Heavy duty, you can't beat it up. The Cheetah is going to be your little bit higher end, comfortable commercial, especially if you're a heavier set guy. You have heavier set guys using it. That suspension platform is very comfortable. You get the speed out of it, the usability. It's kind of more like a, I don't know if you say standard mower, but it's a very similar setup to a lot of those standard mowers. Very easy to use, easy to work on as you go through it. So those are kind of your options. Those are your price points, some of the features between the two. Jim, appreciate you coming out and chatting, because you obviously, I don't know, those are pump belts. I didn't know what that was, so appreciate your knowledge on it. Appreciate that. SCAG, as we sell it, obviously I sell a lot of brands, I say it all the time. SCAG has got to be the best commercial grade mower that we sell. Love them, love their back end. Jim and I toured the SCAG facilities in Wisconsin a couple weeks ago. Just an overall high quality, high performance, and really good back end to it, really good dealer support as well, and part support. So check out the SCAG Turf Tiger Cheetah. When you're looking for a new commercial grade mower, you won't be disappointed.